What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Nightmare Chess. In our last video, I had a tragic mouse slip against Antonio. I have a check. I do want to try to get the king. I want to. Oh, no, no, no. Oh, no. I accidentally mouse slipped. That's what I get. Tragic. We're going to have our rematch today as white. Hopefully I come today with a sharper mind, a little bit more focused, so that we don't have any accidents like that again. So let's go ahead and get started as white today. And we'll start with e4. All right, we'll develop the knight. A couple things I can do here. I think I'll just see what we go into. Okay, and two knights variation. Let's see here. I can strike in the center immediately. And if pawn takes, I move this pawn up, attacking this knight, forcing it to move away. Okay, so we have the option of en passanting here or moving the bishop. Based on some of the opening lines that I've looked at, I think the way to go is to bring the bishop over to b5. All right, let's see here. And I do believe that the move here, I think e2 is probably okay. I think the move I'm going to go for is knight to d4. This knight is pinned, so can't take back, and also has a defender there. Okay, I was wondering if bishop was going to go here. And the queen's kind of choosing to pin itself, I guess. Here. If I can get to the queen, that would be nice. I'm thinking of either castling or developing the knight. Just trying to see which one is the better move. I'm also seeing if this knight, if I can trap it anyway, but probably not likely. If I were to come here, it can just maybe, if I move here, maybe the bishop could come with a check. If I take, knight could take back. Also, the knight does have this square as well. I should castle, but I'm kind of tempted to just push the knight away. Let's just castle. Be principled, then we'll push the knight away. Now I think it's okay. Now my rook is lining down the f file, so maybe I can continue to push the pawn if the knight moves away. Okay, so knight did move to this square as I considered, and I did think about this move, which, I mean, it looks weird. There's nothing protecting that pawn, but it does kick away the knight. I would just have to consider where it would relocate, and that would either be here or here. Still trying to think for now of how I can take advantage of this x-ray here with the knight and queen. But it doesn't work now. It doesn't work yet. Takes. And that just opens up the file for the rook. Here, knight takes. So it doesn't work quite yet. It's definitely time to start developing other pieces rather than just continue pushing. I think I'll develop this knight here. I haven't protected this pawn yet. I can slide the rook over. I'm kind of hoping this knight would go for the pawn, but obviously Antonio's not going to go for that. Let's develop the knight first. I'm not so sure that kicking the knight away again does anything. And okay, he was going to move there regardless. Now there's two attackers there, but not really two attackers. It's really just this one. Because if I take here, the knight could take. I could take with a check. I don't really have a follow-up after that, so let me think here. I can bring this knight over to e2 so that there's protection there. I don't see why not. What I'm noticing is a lot of my pieces are so far on light squares, which is really good. It's saving me from this dark squared bishop coming out. So I think I'm okay here. Okay, so there's that again. This attack and then this attack. So let's see. I'm just calculating. Takes, and then we're back in that position. I can move the pawn up to defend. I can strike the knight. Maybe I want to... oh, okay. And this knight is pinned. Took me a second. So if takes... So maybe I protect the knight with the pawn. Gives me some vision as well. And I'll try to get out of the pin here if I can. Just making sure there's no traps or blunders. Okay. I think the more principled move I would imagine is taking with the pawn. When we could take and we can go for the trade. I think I want to keep our center solid. I think that'll continue to give us the edge in this game. Now Antonio's threatening to kind of destroy the center there, our center pieces. Of course, if he takes, I can just take back. We're kind of in the same position. This pawn could move down, though. That wouldn't be good. Let's see. If I come here, takes. My king might be a little bit more vulnerable there. And now that the king has castled, there's probably no use in overthinking that right there. Let's see. Maybe I come back like this. It's probably a passive move. And I am thinking that if I come here, takes, then the knight now has this square. Because if I take, knight could take back, the knight would still sit there. So I think black is thinking of this square as an outpost, possibly. And I think I want to protect that pawn. So we'll move the pawn to f4. All right, well, the good news is there's no a6 attacking the bishop. So let's see here. Okay. So maybe I start relocating the knight and start trying to initiate some attack on the look, there's the big arrow thing again. I think I've noticed that when we do some pointing and then shaking of the mouse, that's when it gets big, when it enlarges. See? So I think I figured it out finally. That's the cheat code. Point, shake. Haha, see? I can do it whenever by command now. Point, shake. Huh, that's cool. So now you guys know that. Sorry, let me get back to the game. So what I'm thinking is relocating the knight so that I can slide the queen over. And there's no immediate attack, but maybe there's some initiative. I think the issue is if takes, the rooks aren't connected yet. So maybe I actually, before that, if I bring the bishop to e3, I just have to make sure there's no attack on the bishop, and I don't think there is. I do think the bishop's safe here. Okay. I think we're going to take back. I'm thinking of with the F pawn. Let's see. Oh, I'm kind of enticed to take with the D pawn as well, because that kind of encourages either the pawn to push or the knight to push. And I'm thinking of striking here. I have 3 attackers. Still have the X-ray with the bishop. So I think I'm gonna take this way. All right, just like I said. Now the question is, do I take with the bishop or knight? And of course the queen's a possibility too. Well, it's not a possibility now because I would lose the queen. I think I'll take with the, hold on. Takes, takes, takes. Maybe there's this, 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 this. If I take now, takes, takes. Bishop has no vision over here. This would be a threat. And doesn't do much over here. So I'm thinking that should be the first move first. Let me calculate one more time. Here, here, here. And then maybe this. So I do need to calculate that. Here, 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 here. And I don't know that there's a follow-up there. So maybe that isn't the way to go. Oh, again, but the plan was this, this, this. If this strikes, and then I have nothing there but to take. Rook takes, takes, takes. There. I don't really know that we're winning there. Maybe this wasn't the best. Maybe the better move was to take with the F pawn. If the rook comes over, that is a problem, I think. Takes, takes. Wondering if I go for the trade. Takes, 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 takes. I still think I would probably lose in that position. Takes. But maybe slightly better than when the rook comes out. Maybe I take first. No. Let's see. I can just relocate the bishop as well. All right, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the bishop on d2. Pawn could push. Man. This is not a good position. Either that or I'm just not seeing the correct calculation here. All right, I can't spend too much time on this one move. I'm just gonna move the bishop here. Very likely not the best move. Very likely even an inaccuracy. And now I think it's probably the time to take the knight before we get into too much trouble. And I need to be careful here. Queen again with the trying with the pin. And now this pawn's undefended. Maybe I come here to defend the pawn. Let me think here. Takes. She has this. Takes. I don't want that. Actually, I don't have that. Queen would just take. Takes, takes, takes. Okay, I think first thing I'll do is push the knight away. So I can, for 2 reasons. One, I need more squares for this bishop to move around. Right now it's kind of restricted. And 2, I want to be able to strike here in the center if the bishop moves. Okay, let's see. I think are we sort of tied here? Got a rook, queen, and bishop for a queen, knight, and rook. I do have this move. Slide the rook over, try to go for the back rank mate. Calculate. Here, takes, check. Well, that's mate, right? Is that mate? Hold on. What am I not seeing? Is that mate? All right. Thankfully, I didn't try to slide the rook over. Probably would have gave him more time to get out of the position somehow, maybe dropping the pawn. Let me just take a quick look here and see if there were any bad blunders on my part. Wow, 88% accuracy on my end. That's, I mean, I'm impressed myself because I never play that good. No blunders, thankfully. 9 best moves, 1 great move. Let's take a look. So that was the correct move. Castling was okay. Can also kick the knight away, which I was thinking of, which we did. Okay. So the better move was to bring the other knight to b3. Okay. Better move was to push the pawn. And better move there was to defend the bishop with the a pawn. Kick the knight away, blunder, take. This is probably where the game ended with the rook blunder there. Although I didn't see it at the time. All right, thankfully we somewhat struggled, but thankfully that wasn't too complicated and it wasn't a headache. So we went ahead and beat Antonio as white. We will come back in our next video and we will play him as black. And then once we go ahead and beat Antonio, we will move on to the next bot. Let's see who he is. I don't know how to pronounce that name. Is it Perrier? I'll have to look it up. Probably not Perrier. Rated 1500 from France. And we'll continue to go up the bots and continue this series. So thanks for watching, everyone. If you have liked what you've seen so far, make sure to like and subscribe. We are eventually going to do a speed run and do a rating climb and try to get to 1,000, then 1,200, and then beyond that. So stick around for that. See you guys later.